investment, if you ask about the ROE for the investor is that we create professionals. We create professionals for other countries also.
One of the challenges that we have, of course, you also made mention of it, which is food security. Or food insecurity, because what we need is food security. Now we have food insecurity. How do we address food insecurity with integrated farming?
It can improve profitability. It can improve environmental sustainability. I've talked about that of a farm. Yeah, and it, of course, it can also help to improve food security.
Hello, my name is Dr. Beatrice Bischoff. I'm consultant in diverse technology sectors as well as foreign policy in interdisciplinary innovation and exchange. And in this function, I'm here now to present my PETS, a foreign policy ecosystem, in the form of the Agri-Entrepreneurship Factory. I do this consultancy for lots of sectors, moreover in the sector of technology and sustainability. So we start maybe with the description of the Agri-Entrepreneurship Factory, a project that is close to my heart because I think it could be a very good solution for the African youth to become entrepreneurs and the same way help also their country to be self-sufficient. And it could be a very good business model for Africa, I think. And as it is known that Africa is a continent with lots of young people that have to come to work and to bring into work, and this could be a very good solution. Via education is the first step. The Agri-Entrepreneurship Factory is a plan of online education combined with applied science approach. Means we cooperate with universities and schools to apply the content of this approach. The first step is the online education, what we do with the American University, Kavala International University, which is busy in online education since the 90s in the last century. So I have a long history to do that, and they have professors that are African origin, and the professor for Agri-Entrepreneurship Factory, the chair professor for Agri-Entrepreneurship Factory, is Dr. Ikechi Akpukba. Here my colleague talking today. The Agri-Entrepreneurship Factory scheme is meant to combine the factors policy, economy, technology, and society. Why policy? Policy should teach the students how to interact with research institutions, international research institutions, and also NGOs as well other international governments with their own business. Yeah, then economy means you learn them how to do business plans, to do the economic sector of this subject. What is necessary for them to make their plans, to do the supply, the applications for funds, and this way. So this is very important. Then technology means they should use new technologies like sustainable integrated farming as on the base of sustainability and other possible solutions for sustainable farming, as well as the technology that is now available through new space economy and the space and the satellites on the other side. This is smart farming is the description. Here you use sensors, drones, satellite photos, and big data analysis to help to steer the the agriculture processes. So this is a very good and new technology and helps farming very good. It's called precision farming or digital farming. Yeah, here you can with a topic of really focused planning, you can do the agriculture with GPS technology and automated machines. So this could you apply to all the things you need to grow plants and the special needs in special places, and also the water steering, for instance. So this is technology, and society means you have to make this public to society, to include and to take with you the public in your country, that they support you and support the system of agriculture for the young businessman that do that. It's not the farmer is not simply a farmer anymore. He's more a businessman, as in every other subject that you can be a businessman. So if you think it is a professionalization of the topic of agriculture, and this is a especially new sector for young people to become a professional. And on the other hand, also is very important for the countries of Africa to be self-sustainable, to have a grown middle class. And this is the thought behind. Thank you very much. Now I turn over the voice to Dr. Ikechi, who can fill this proposal with his own content in agriculture. So we already have some partners, as you saw on my figure here, and this could be partners hubs like technological hubs. This can be a woman hub for strawberry planting, as we also have, and diverse proposals. This could take part with the universities in place and develop their products, and we can sell this online via digital platforms. And these digital platforms and the sell of the products can contribute again to the whole system. So it is a circular system that helps be sustainable on its own in the end, if everything works. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Dr. Ikechi Abuba, and I'm just like Dr. Beatrice, my colleague, said, I am an agricultural specialist, an agricultural science specialist, and I'm a professor of agribusiness. And yeah, for 2 decades now, and I have been advocating for justice for farmers, for practitioners of agriculture who are, government have not favored well. So, and I'm also advocating for the pets foreign policy ecosystem, which is an agripreneurship factory. And yes, I have a PhD in agricultural economics. That's agribusiness and agricultural marketing. And I am also I've consulted for the UN twice, and they are all on agricultural science, on food and agriculture programs, which enhance global development and fostering Africa's economic transformation through the agriculture sector. So, let me get to the presentation. As I am presenting, I will also be saying some things about what I have been doing. So this is a rebranding strategy. This is a sustainability technology initiative. And of course, the PET system, like Dr. Beatrice had already mentioned, PETs, which is her baby. And now, yeah, so this is me and Dr. Beatrice, who originated the PETs system. And so these are paradigms of smart education with IoT approach. And of course, you can see how students, technology, and teachers are interacting in this system. So it's very important, is is needed at this time. So, and of course, the smart learning process, and it connects also the students to investors in agriculture who are able to bring out the dimensions of the fourth industrial revolution into place. So, why food security matters? I just to um, highlight on this. We can see that food security is a major issue. Is a major issue to the global south. Here, Africa is about almost 100 million persons in Africa are food insecure. And you can see in the Middle East and Asia, it's about 45 million, and in Central America and Haiti, and all that, and it goes on. And you can see also that what actually drives food insecurity are, it can be, categorized into three. That's political or social factors, conflict, and then economic factors, and then climate change issues. And yeah, so pets, you can see how this is an edutech, and of course, the Kavala International University is the platform which leverages for the farmers on this new technology dimensions that could unlock efficiency and effectiveness, productivity for the farmer in the crops, livestock, forestry, and fisheries subsector of the agriculture sector. So this is one of the our collaborators is in Rwanda. You can see the different areas in Rwanda, and Rwanda is a country where the pets we are looking at the pets and to be practiced. So it's a model East African country. And of course, it's situated in the fastest emerging region of Africa, which is East Africa. Now, pets foreign policy ecosystem, I wouldn't want to repeat what Dr. Beatrice had already mentioned. Yeah, so but adapting it to agriculture, you can see that it's broken down into the different aspects in respect to policy, economy, technology, and society. So this is coffee. Coffee is one of the yes, celebrated and eminent crops for Rwanda. Rwanda does well with coffee. Yeah, so so there's a lot of opportunity in the ecosystem for it in production, in processing, in distribution, and in consumption. This is for rice also. Rice is also popular in the whole of Africa. Is one of the three most populous crops of Africa. It's a cereal crop, and of course, it's also in high demand. We can see, that for Nigeria, Egypt, and all that. Now, this is maize ecosystem. This is also another cereal crop, which is, and one of the three, after cassava, we have maize and then rice. These are three most populous crops of Africa. So the ecosystem is also very robust. I've already mentioned cassava. So this is cassava. It's a root crop, actually. And you can see that the federal government of Nigeria, that's for Nigeria, and the IFAD and the VCDP, that is Value Chain Development Program, has come up with solutions for this most popular crop. What it means is that all parts of Africa cultivates this crop. Is not a neglected crop, actually. So the pets foreign policy, the pets agripreneurship factory is a factory that is bankable, is a bankable activity, is a business activity which can unlock a lot of possible opportunities for us to begin to talk to investors, potential investors, government, and other stakeholders, non-NGOs, private investors. Let's do business together on how to build the capacity of our farmers and other agripreneurship, or other agripreneurs and other stakeholders in the agriculture sector and farming industry. Let us take this to the next level, and we can see that this is lacking. So, and both in the supply chain and value chain, you can see these are opportunities for young people. We are talking about rebrand, a system that rebrands agriculture for them, that presents an opportunity for employable opportunities for them. So they will begin to think differently and leverage on these technology solutions which they can come up with. So some of these quotes, I wouldn't want to take time, but these are some quotes which the organizations where I've worked with, even Dr. Beatrice is part of the EU Tech, and she is also a board member, and myself, I am a board member for Food, Farming and Fisheries Alliance. And and also the IBM International Conference on Business Models in Agriculture, which this is for Kenya next year in March. So can we? This is something that we need to talk about. The Pets Agripreneurship Factory. Thank you very much for listening.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for your presentation. It really have been very interesting and very informative. There are a lot of value in what you have done. Of course, I'm coming to Dr. Kechi just now. Where let's ask you a few questions to help us understand what you have presented. I don't know if you could say something about the investment opportunity in this sector. Could you say anything about that?
Well, the investment possibility in this sector is always a good one, I think, because to start with, when I was young, we were all very much behind Mr. Costolani. He was the prime investor at the stock exchange, and a friend of mine asked him, Mr. Costolani, what do you think should I invest in? And Mr. Costolani said, you should invest in the education of your youth. And this is the thing we are talking about today. We have to invest in the youth of Africa to become the new middle class, the new SME of every country in Africa. I know that the countries in Africa are very different, and even the local conditions are very different, but in every condition there can be an entrepreneur, and you can educate those young people to be an entrepreneur. The online education helps to reach out to everyone. That means not only the students in a city or in a big city or a small city or whatever can reach out to this education. The education comes to them and also to their time plan. If they already work in some place, they can arrange the right time to be educated. If they work in an area where there's no school and no university, they can also take part in this program and develop their own education. So I think this is the absolute advantage to bring up the youth of Africa. And the investment, if you ask about the ROE for the investor is that we create professionals. We create professionals for other countries also. We create professionals for the sector of agriculture that there's a lack of. We don't have so much professionals, real professionals, because the modern technologies are to learn. If you learn about, as I told you, smart farming, you have to learn. But even in our country, there are not a lot of experts in this area because it's a bit complicated, and you have to learn to really learn about it. Yeah, precision farming and smart farming, but it is of value. You can learn about how the data are collected via satellites, for instance. The data are reprocessed via geoengineering, for instance. There artificial intelligence comes in, and this helps you with other technology like drone technology and so on to do a business that's really a business. And the same counts for sustainability. There are concepts from our teachers in the university here in Munich. We have good cooperation partners, as Mr. Migende, for instance. He's said to be prepared to teach smart farming, as well as professors from the University of the University of Munich, the technical university. They have the sustainable integrated farming concept, as Dr. Kateb and so. They are also prepared to invest their knowledge in our system. So we have good cooperation partners that already invest in our system, as well as people who trust us, as the companies mentioned in Africa, as the young women with the strawberries, as the tech hub that wants to work with us, and some other components we already partnering with. So investment and of course the platform in the end to sell the products can help for investments. There is examples, for instance, as the argan oil in Morocco. They have a platform with the arganerie and sell their products over there. So this could work also here, and we can also the local business with the cooperation hubs with the universities in place. Here we create these hubs together with them, where the farmers our lessons and sell. So this is the possibilities that the ROE can be seen.
Thank you so much for that. Yeah, this is really very interesting. I don't know, because you are in Germany, of course, there are also a lot of Africans in Germany. So, of course, in this case, now we are talking of the African diaspora because that is a huge part of our audience. We care about what they are doing also in relation to Africa. Is there any participation of the African diaspora in Germany who might be interested also in agriculture? Maybe the one that you have engaged with and things like that that you can share with us?
Yeah, of course, everybody in our system, everybody can be involved. It's not only governments. We work with companies also. Yeah, companies can take their part in our system, and in this way, also the diaspora of the Africans can participate in this, because if they can do relationship with these companies, busy in agriculture, in their countries, and this is also a very important fact that companies are participants, and this is good for the students to come in touch with them, and one day be their professionals if they are ready.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Now, talking of Greek entrepreneurship, I'm still with you, Beatrice. Don't worry. I'm coming to you, Dr. Kechi, just now. I'm doing it like this so that it doesn't move on too much because we're going to be restructuring the setup now. All right. Now, I wanted to say something about the system of agripreneurship and how this might contribute to sustainable development in Africa. Is there anything you can share in line with that?
Yeah, it's saying a sustainable entrepreneurship comes from the technology to use sustainable concepts. Yeah, therefore you grow in a system that will be kept. Means the agri entrepreneurship factory is a self-supporting system. In the end, of course, the farmers get their money from their purchases, from what they are selling, but also a little bit of money goes back to the system, so that you can reach the system and keep it. In Germany, we have, for instance, a system that's called Our Country. Yeah, and Our Country helps to promote the farmers of the regions and of the country. So you can also establish a system that keeps alive this agri-entrepreneurship factory as our system. This is very important. I'm sorry. I don't know what happens
You got
now,
it.
but I have to I have to close it down. I don't know who is calling, to tell the truth, and I don't even know the source. This is really a problem. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's-
All right. Now, I'll ask you the last question before we move to Dr. Kechi.
yeah.
You thought of precision farming before. Could you explain more how this will work based on what you are planning and projecting in Africa?
Yes, precision farming is done already, or there are still ESA, for instance, the European Space Agency, is busy with Copernicus, that is collecting data for the agriculture level. Yeah. And as well, there are also private companies like Planet that is doing the same. So they have different approaches and different values, and if they work, for instance, together, they can be a complete system for these precision farmings, because they deliver data in a different intensity. Means they one deliver data in a more in a wider frame, the others in a smaller frame and daily frame, but not so clear. Yeah, that's the question of the resolution. Yeah, is also a question, and they work in different ways, and combined they could contribute to deliver perfect data. And then there comes in the software industry, the IT industry, with geoengineering. That means they prepare the data for the use in the farming sector, with the help of artificial intelligence, for instance, so they can create the perfect data. Then in the end, the farmer knows when to seed what and how to prepare what, when he could even it helps steering the water resources, and some of these kinds is a very usable way to do the farming in the future. A very precise and to the point, the focus point. You can focus on your seeds and on also on the results of it, of course.
All right. Thank you so much for
You can watch over the animal development. You can see even for the animals it's created. You can see the whole development of the animals, the feeding and every system you need to keep your animal stock. Yeah, so it can be also for the seeding, as I already told, and there is a lot of also for the woods, for the preservation of woods, and for the sustainability, of course. In this way, there's also the possibility to create digital twins on Earth to try the strategies that you can use.
all right.
There's a lot of around that that could be learned and could be of use for the future young
That's
farmer.
interesting. That's interesting. That is a beautiful new word that we are looking into. And yeah, that's really very beautiful. All right. So the first question I have for you, Dr. Ikechi, is how does integrated farming and climate resistant, how does it contribute to agribusiness? Of course, we're looking at Africa and also other parts of the world. What do you say about that?
Well, to add to what Dr. Beatrice had already elucidated on, integrated farming is actually, let me start by that before I get to the climate resilience. So I call it IFS, integrated farming system. It's quite holistic, and of course, it's an approach of farming, cultivation of crops or livestock in a sustainable way. So, and that is what we are encouraging farmers, in today's world, sustainability and also profitability for their own good, because they need to reinvest what has also come out from the farm. So it's more like in the circular economy form. So that it doesn't end there, because investment is also one of the ways of growing an economy. So integrated farming system can actually improve productivity. It can improve profitability. It can improve environmental sustainability. I've talked about that of a farm. Yeah, and of course, it can also help to improve food security and rural livelihoods. And when you look at integrated farm, it has an aspect of everything, every farming system, like maybe crops, some sort of crops that are compatible with some livestock, and there are some fisheries, some pond there, and we just have every representation in that farm, so that nothing will be lacked. All the resources can actually be reused. So the waste from crops can be used as feed for livestock, and waste from livestock can be used for manure for the crops. And then also, this is actually efficient, and we have seen it being practiced. I'm telling you, we've seen it being practiced. So climate resilience, on the other hand, in agribusiness, is the ability, is the way of food and agricultural systems to adapt and also to recover from the effects of climate change, because this is challenging. We can't run away. When you saw my slides, you saw that climate change is one of the issues that causes food insecurity to a reasonable level. So it's very important in building climate resilience. So climate resilience is very important. So integrated farming system helps to build climate resilience. So that's what I want to say. And it's actually in the future. That is where the future is going to, how to help resources, farmers, and also land to buy back.
Yeah, right. If you were to look at maybe one of the challenges that we have, of course, you also made mention of it, which is food security. or food insecurity, because what we need is food security. Now we have food insecurity. How do we address food insecurity with integrated farming? What do you say about that?
Yes, like I said, integrated farming has every part represented. So whenever there's maybe issues with flooding, yeah, and when there are ways of preparing the farm, or making the farm to be able to receive the water, to retain water, to be used in the next season. So, and of course, rainwater, like in the my United Nations assignment I did in Nigeria at Ubiaj some years ago. Yes, so I was
That
telling
is very,
about
that is
the
within East and very
facility.
close to me.
Exactly, where in fact where you
Yeah,
come
yeah.
from, not even up to 2 kilometers
Exactly.
to
Yeah,
where
yeah.
you are from, very close. Yeah. So yeah, so that facility is actually an example, of a facility that needs to grow from where it is. So it needs what we call conversion. We need to convert that food crop transfer station to an integrated farm so that they'll begin to enjoy the benefits of mitigating issues on climate change. Because like flooding, you know flood issues are prevalent now in Nigeria, and this has not, this is a new thing. And we have it also in South Africa, which a lot of farmers have been dispossessed of their lands. So when we have a representation of the aspect of crops, and the crops have permanent crops, well, they have arable crops and they have horticulture crops as well. So in order to do this, we have to build up structures. Of course, infrastructure must be there. So the integrated farm has a lot of benefits to derive, and of course, the water can be properly channeled. So that's one thing about integrated from channel to good use for the next season. And of course, that could be a source of irrigation, and even some um okay, yeah, that's I just wanted to touch on fisheries a bit, but I just want to also stick to the
Yeah, yeah,
time.
yeah. For talking
Thank,
of the
thank
time,
you.
um, briefly, what do you see as a roadmap to be able to implement this strategy that you are sharing here? Of course, I'm going to ask the same thing to Beatrice. So, how do you describe the roadmap looking into the future?
Yeah, I was just addressing this issue before about, we are talking about corporate social responsibility. I was asked to do something on that. So I was just looking at public-private partnership, which is, an aspect of collaboration. Now, Dr. Beatrice has a wonderful approach, which is the pets, which, of course, she has been exposed to the German world, internationally to the UAE. I know she travels a lot, internationally. And but she told me something that she has a love and passion for Africa. Now, with all her love and passion, and how do we now begin to discuss on how to unlock Africa, on how to unlock Africa agriculture? Because one thing is that we must have to identify with the areas, with the global south, not just for Africa, in the global south generally, because we are all connected to each other. We need this collaboration so that we will all keep relating, and this international trade stuff, what the other region does not have. So as an agribusiness expert that I am, to effectively balance the corporate social responsibility um, project budget, let me put it that way, with priorities, it will involve aligning ideas with core goals. So resource allocation is very important, prioritizing on projects, which of course we are presenting the PETS system that align with values and long-term strategy. So, like I said, public-private partnership fosters that collaboration and is also imperative. So we have to, be more strategized with stakeholders now. Universities, we are talking about universities. There are lots of universities that are crying. They are crying for collaborators for virtual educational, for virtual education. Dr. Beatrice will attest to the fact that we had a meeting on Friday, and one of the professors in Nigeria was saying, "Oh, we need you, we need this," and that is what we need. I'm telling you, in most of the African countries, no, not just the physical thing, but let us take it to the next level. Let us build a system, a structure, whereby we'll expose the farmers to these new dimensions of technology that will unlock productivity and on tackle food insecurity, eradicate poverty, and drive livelihoods, and of course of our women. Dr. Beatrice mentioned about the youth. The youth is very important. The youth are in the future, the youngsters, and of course the men as well. So, and we have this, this has come to be. Agriculture is no longer where it used to be. Technology has changed the game for agriculture. It has changed the game for agriculture. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Kichi. All right. So we move to Dr. Beatrice. Could you please unmute yourself and respond to the same question in terms of the roadmap for the future? Please go.
Yeah. The roadmap in the sense of a consultancy is always, you see in steps, the development of a project. Usually it's a 5-step plan that you have. So I think we are now in the end of the phase the first phase. That means to collect strategic partnerships. We selected some universities, but we are open to universities because we have some, but we are open to every good interested university that turns to us. We cooperated with farmers already existing, as I told you. If you want to put first the women, the strategic partner is the strawberry farm in Rwanda. We have a farm in Nigeria that's only busy with technology. We have a farm in Malawi that is busy with sunflowers. We have a mixed farm. We have several cooperation partners in this space also, but we are still open because it's in the end to build this up is a local job. So if we have a university in place, they can there build their hub with the plants and with the necessities they have in place. Because I know that Africa is local, it's not global, it's local. So therefore, of course, it can be adapted to every local necessity, to every local demand. And phase 2 would be now, or we are on the edge to phase 2, where we collect all the investors. Some countries even are prepared to invest if we cooperate with the universities, their official universities. But we also looking for investors out of the business sector, companies, or also funds that are established to support this kind of system. We are in exchange with funds already, with funds from European funds, as well as GEZ funds we looking for. This is the next phase. The next phase is also that Ikechi will create his content for the curriculum. We already discussed it. And we have also behind us the step of our cooperation partner, Kavala International University. They are now located in Liberia. Also, they start doing education, not pets, but education in Liberia. So we are moving forward step by step. The next phase will now be dedicated to collect the investors, because we need investors, because the farmers don't have the possibilities and money to step in these programs. Yeah, they are paid programs for those who can pay, but are supported supported education for those who cannot. And this is the one we need now to help contribute and take part in our program. So the next phase then will be phase 3, to start the program for all, and also create the hubs, means in place, that they start the applied programs. And the last phase will then be make it run, so that the platform to sell the products can be established, and after some time maybe even be in the winning section, so that we have a return on invest of the platform.
Thank you so much for that. So what will be your final thought here? What will be your conclusion to this conversation?
Well, the conclusion is that we, as I said in the beginning, we create a new tranche or a new space of entrepreneurs in the SME level, that helps get young people into work, and also be an entrepreneur, and invest in the young people of Africa to create a new business that can help also again nourish their own countries and help their own countries to further develop and be self-sustainable in the end. So I think it is a very circular and a very complete system to help everybody, because if someone helps the next one, everybody is helped.
Thank you so much for that, Beatrice. We appreciate your time and also the contribution. All right, Dr. Kichi, let us know, what is your final thought here? What is your conclusion on this conversation?
Difficult to think because Dr. Beatrice has already spoken my mind, but let me just add up to what she has said. Yes, we need to take it to the next level. We can build up or rather outline agencies. Well, of course, we have already done that. We have really made some effort. So now we are at the summit, the German summits, whereby we are having lots of attendees. We are welcoming the government to understand that this initiative is very viable. So we need to work with you. We need to work with private investors. We need to come up with this solution so that we will be able to, raise funds. And of course, raising funds is not easy, but it is also easy when we come together. So when we come together, it becomes easy. It becomes simple, so that we can, reach out to where the greatest needs are. You can imagine during the Russia-Ukraine crisis, what happened? Lots of people could not feed. Lots of confectionery industries were barely managing, so they had to resort to the to other substitute crops like cassava, and of course they have to undergo some fortification with other minerals, because wheat in itself is well fortified for itself. So when you bring in cassava flour, and then you have to, I'm just using that for example. Now we also have other areas which there are some crops that are dying gradually, the neglected crops of Africa, neglected crops which have a lot of viable opportunities to promote good health, the health status of our of people. Those crops are inside of them enshrined to help, to drive robust health and even reproductive systems. Yes, and cure illnesses, and of course open up doors for trade in the face of the free trade area agreements of Africa. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Dr. Kechi. And thank you also, Dr. Beatrice, for your time and the contribution here. This is an argument that we are particularly passionate about, talking about food security, talking about agriculture, talking about agri-business, in that the young people of Africa and the African diaspora should understand that we are actually talking about a huge opportunity for them. It's a game that they can play. It's a game that they can win. I just made mention of one. Nigeria, for example, is the leading world producer of cassava. You might ask, what can cassava do? Well, cassava can do actually a lot of things. Dr. Kechi made mention of the war in Ukraine. Of course, what we derive from millet and other cereal, we can actually derive some of that from cassava, which is cassava flour, for example. A huge proportion of African population rely on the product of cassava. You can talk of gari, talk of pounded yam, talk of a lot of things that we're actually deriving from cassava. So an economy like Nigeria being able to produce cassava, it can create a lot of job opportunity for the population. And of course, I'm just making mention of one, cassava, but there are other many opportunities within the field of agriculture that Africa need to leverage. So I think this is a conversation that is important, not only for today, we can come back again to it because it is something absolutely fundamental. It's of existential importance to us as a people. So I welcome the work that you guys are doing. It is highly welcome, highly valid, and highly timely. So thank you so much for the sharing. Thank you so much for the work that you are doing. And please continue it. It is important. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. You're welcome.
Thank you.